So here's my app. It's called the Brewery Tour Manager. So a user can go in and display the manager. Now they'd be able to search breweries by city and then create their own brewery tour by listing out the tour stops that they want to go to, as you can see on the right. The user could go in and search by city, and all the breweries in that city would display. If a user wanted to find out more about information about a certain brewery, they could flip the card, and information will be displayed on the back of the card, including the website, phone number, address. Now, a user could then input this brewery, specific breweries into the brewery stop portion of this app, and they could input Jester King Brewery, for instance, and then maybe another one, Oasis Texas Brewing Company. Now that once the user has selected or inputted their desired breweries, they could visit them, and then once they visited the brewery, they would click the visited button, and the breweries would be crossed out. They would be crossed out. Yeah. Now a user could also share their brewery tour on Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, or via email. So these links are active. Now, if I want to show you a piece of code that I'm particularly proud of, and so if you go to the Visual Studio, you could see that this is a piece of code that runs from line 45 to 60, and it deals with the search functionality. So what it does, just really quickly, is it sets the input of the form that's in city search, and equates it to the query, and which it sets that state. Then it calls the search method and sets the state in as an argument. This argument then is passed through search, and it updates or changes the URL, the endpoint of the API, to return the data that correlates with what the user has inputted. Now there's a fetch API call, and the results are then set to data, which is passed down in a component further down the app, or further down in this component. Now, if I were to do something differently, I think in building this app again, I would think about the layout of the app more earlier on. I think the layout is okay, but I would think about how I'd want the city search and the input bar on the right to be displayed. I would ideally maybe like a div, something centered or more centered, and I'd have to think more about it. But I think I'd definitely think about the display more earlier on. And if I had more time, I would change it up a little bit. Now, if I were to add a feature to the app that isn't already there, what I would do is I would add a drag and drop feature so that a user could click on a brewery up on the left and drag it over to the right and have it display as a list of favorited breweries that would make up their brewery tour list. So that's my app. Hope you guys enjoyed learning more about it. I enjoyed building it, and thanks a lot.